Hello and welcome to Racers Now. It's the Monday night chat with myself, Adam Smido Smith, and the main man, the best tipster in the game, SD. Not every Monday, most Mondays, and definitely every Thursday is where you get the YouTube tips from SD throughout the flat season and into the jumps when that gets started. I know there was a couple of murmurs about that last week, not on this channel. SD's tips on the YouTube every Thursday, most Mondays, plus 58 points since April the 6th. You're not going to get better anywhere else. Pretty quiet weekend last weekend in terms of quality. There's lots to look forward to this weekend, including the Group 1 Sprint Cup at Haydock. That's taking place on Saturday, September the 6th. We've got a very special guest to chat about that race a little bit later. But first, we're going to have an anti-post look at Ascot and Kempton. But first, SD, how are you?
I'm good, and I'm so glad you've raised this point. It's not even the Sprint Cup or the Ledger, and then people are masturbating about bloody going to,
Constitution Hill.
Chepstow, and oh my God, Nicky says Sergino is he's just a constant dirge of complete and utter claptrap, isn't it?
Yes.
I've rather enjoyed the flat season. I tell you what, I'm jet lagged getting back, as you saw on the M25 yesterday. I'm absolutely jet lagged getting back from Brighton yesterday.
Yes,
What an
long
awful
way.
journey that was.
Long way and a long day for SD yesterday. Right, Ascot got a couple of races on ITV this weekend. Premier race days that have worked really, really well as we are coming to the end of the 2-year trial. Haydock and Kempton Premier race days this Saturday, but not Ascot. Interesting. 2 races from Ascot on ITV on Saturday. A 7-furlong handicap, as happens at Ascot virtually every time they race on a Saturday, and that's where the first interest anti-post of the week comes from SD, I believe. 240 on Saturday, 7 furlongs.
Yeah, I think it's important. There are 37 entries. Some are double entered at Haydock, which we'll come on to later. There is a safety limit of 20 in this race. We'll go into safety limits later. It's good to soft good in places at Ascot. I know it drains like the kitchen sink. I know that, but bloody hell, there's a bit of rain forecast, especially down south this week. I mean, I was watching with tonight, and it was absolutely pissing it down. Tarkhan ran really well at Sandown on Saturday behind that railroad thing at a Mr. Smith winner. So well done to you.
Thank you.
Yes, yeah. Um, he's got a lot of form on bad ground, and I was struggling to find why he was 20-1 here. I thought he ran a hell of a lot better at Sandown. He'd run well in one of those fetid racing league races. But I thought 20s was perfectly fair. I thought a lot of them wouldn't go in the conditions. If it got soft, it can happen at Ascot. Surprise, surprise. I think the other point to bear in mind, I may well back him on the day, but I think Wizard of Eye is of major interest here. It's 20-1. I'll help you with the price. Is a major interest. Have you seen? He's gone Stanmore to Charlie Fellows. He won first time out, and now he's gone to Clover. Tom Clover, not Charlie Clover, Tom Clover, who's in pretty good form and is a very able trainer.
Yeah, fair play. So that's Tarkhan for SD there at 20-1 at Ascot. I'm guessing there's nothing in the supporting race at Ascot on Saturday. I think it's
No.
3:15, mile and a half handicap. Again, the thing that SD rightly points out there, the maximum field size in that one, 20 rather than you can get up to 30 odd runners in a 7-furlong race at other points in the season at Ascot. Not this weekend. Right, I think we're going to go on to Kempton next, SD. I don't think it's a betting race for the purposes of this conversation, but the feature race there, if you like, on Saturday is this September Stakes. Actually, the first race on the card, won a couple of times by Enable. At least on one of those occasions, she went on to win the Arc, and that's what they're going to be trying to do with Kalpana here this weekend. Last seen when second in the King George. I thought she ran brilliantly there with a view to the Arc. I've put her up on this channel for the Arc, and she's already odds on for this September Stakes at Kempton. Colin Keane going to be getting on board there. I just wondered if you had any comment there, SD, really.
You would want Kalpana to win like she won it last year. remember putting her up, and she got absolutely
You
mullered
did.
in the betting.
Yeah.
You want her to win like that. I personally have my doubts if she's good enough to win an arc.
Yeah, I just thought that I just thought it was a perfect prep race for the Ark in the King George. Not that the King George, richest race in the UK, should be used as such. But yeah, I think when she gets hopefully a little bit of the softer ground, I think we'll see her to best effect.
I see Palladium's entered with his balls off.
Yes, the 1.4 million purchase that went to Nikki and then has gone over to the Gosdens, has it not? Yeah, the German Derby winner from last year. Who cares? The bet you are having a race in at Kempton on Saturdays. This London Mile Series handicap final, whatever it is, qualified horses only. Maximum field of 14 here, SD. I have a bet, but so do you. So you can go first.
You're not going to copy, are you?
No, I'm not copying.
We've been having but we've been having a chat earlier on with someone else. If you're going to copy that, that is absolutely ridiculous.
I don't even know actually what you're talking about. Honestly, I logged on about 15 minutes
Oh, right,
ago.
okay.
Your bets, yeah.
I think the case for Local Hero, there's a 14 safety limit, as you say. There's 27 entered, so I'd imagine most of them's going to declare, because for this grade of horse, this is it's 41 grand to the winner this race. It's a sizable pot, isn't it? So I think most of them will declare. I thought Local Hero was very, very interesting here. I was certainly surprised that they put him up at 20. I think that's way too big. You just have to look at some of the runs last year. Does like Kempton, last 3 runs here, read 1-1-4-2. He's been winning off marks. He won off 88 in December. He won off 92. Sorry, he was fourth off 92 when he should have won back in February. I will counter that slightly. The all-weather handicap ratings are a little bit more inflated in the winter, but off 86 here, he's got leading claims. He's had his balls off, so he should be happy and more sort of protracted.
On the opposite end of the gender scale, I like Sky Safari in this SD.
Unbelievable.
What is that the one you was talking? I've honestly got no idea. I've had my head up my back all evening.
Just before you go on to Sky Safari, I was actually I get it. All scenes booked. It's very sexy, isn't it? Because Fanshawe won one of these. They have these races everywhere, don't they? They have series finals. He won one of them at Brighton yesterday. He's 3 from 3 on the all weather. What I would just slightly counter it with is I was actually at Kempton when he won last time, and he beat Basher Watts's horse, Believe the Storm. Believe the Storm would have won that day had he broke properly.
I like James Fanshawe with progressive fillies. This is a progressive filly. She's 3 from 3 on the all weather. Intended target. Oisin jocked up, which I don't normally subscribe to. But yeah, all the signs are there, and I think she'll go off a lot shorter than 8-1. I think she'll be at least half that on the day. So I think it's worth taking out. I don't often get involved in the anti-post markets on a Monday for that week's racing. SD usually leads the way there. But yeah, I fancied that one. And yeah, that's Kempton and Ascot wrapped up, is it, SD?
It is. We'll go on to the main meeting of the day. It's a fantastic card at Haydock, is it? It's absolutely wonderful stuff.
Yep. So it's the Group 1 Betfair Sprint Cup day at Haydock on Saturday. And who better to chat through that with? Not friend of the channel, John Hutchinson.
I'll tell you about friend of the channel in a bit.
We have got, coming to the stage now, the General Manager of Haydock Racecourse. Very thanks for joining us, Simon Tong. Simon, how are you? Big week ahead for you guys.
Good evening, gentlemen. Yes, really looking forward to it. It's kind of all taking shape now. Last few tickets being sold, and there's a buzz around the office. So yeah, can't wait for the weekend.
And what other days do you race this week? Is it Thursday, Friday, Saturday?
Yeah, we're Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So busy couple of days running into it, and then it'll be full steam ahead come Thursday. Really, yeah, can't wait for gates to open.
And weather watch. I know you're not clerk of the course, but we've had an update from Dan earlier today. But yeah, what's the weather looking like for the week ahead?
Yeah, so we've had 3 mil today. We're due to be dry tomorrow. I think some showers on Wednesday. So I think kind of as we stand, Dan's hoping it'll kind of land on good, or thinking it will land on good, which is where we are currently.
And shaping up, I must say, to be a cracking race. We've got Lazat, who was the Royal Ascot winner, who looked at that time in mid-June head and shoulders above every 6 furlong horse in Europe. Has got a little bit of a blot on his copybook since then, but looks an intended runner over from France, and then all sorts of other horses in there as well, including the July Cup winner. Plenty to look forward to.
Yeah, no, it's a very high quality field. We're really excited on that side of things. We've had 2 horses supplement today, so I think we've got 22 entries as we currently stand, which will end up at 17, hopefully, or there or thereabouts. But you're 100% right. Lazard Group, great Group 1 Royal Ascot winner. Time for Sandals again. I don't know if the ground will come perfectly for him, but Group 1 winner. No half measures, July Cup winner. It's just, the depth of quality on display on Saturday really is out the top drawer. I can't wait.
Absolutely. Right, over to you then, SD. What's the fancy in the Spring Cup?
Well, I'm not putting it better. Isn't that good? Simon might
the
know.
big build-up.
Simon must be personal friends with William Haggis. Have you heard? Almerac is entered at York as well on Sunday. Have you any suggestion where it'll go?
No idea. Fortunately, haven't heard from Mr. Haggis so far. So your guess is as good as mine on that one.
Well, he should.
This is the Almerac that's only had four runs to his name thus far. Entered in things like the Sprint Cup, the listed stakes at York on Sunday, then the Ayr Gold Cup next week, and just for good measure, British Champions Day Group 1 Sprint as well. So in the could be anything box, without question, Hamdan or Shadwell estate owned, should I say?
Yeah, but wouldn't it be interesting? Can you imagine Almerac wins the Sprint Cup and then they go to Ayr under a penalty? That would be fantastic, wouldn't it? That would upset the French. Anyway, Lazat, I think Lazat will probably win, to be honest. I'll be interested to see Dan's go his stick readings across the track to see where he is drawn, but all things being equal, I think he'll probably win. You end up trying to find horses against these things. There's a case for Almerac.
I think you can, because this Lazat,
Flora's a chance.
Yeah, Flora. Well, Wafnan have got 3 in there, but currently they haven't got a fit jockey retained at the moment. James Doyle's been off a few days. He's not got any book rides, and he's been off since the second day of York. But just with Lazat, he was excellent alongside the Japanese runner. They were a mile clear of the rest there in the Jubilee. But he did get beat up 1-2 in the Maurice de Guise last time. Regional was 4th in that race. He's not exactly got form of an upward trajectory, has he? Current second favourite time to Sandals isn't a definite runner, as Simon has alluded to. So yeah, I think there's got to be a bet in there, Esty. Maybe not now, and you're going to wait till Thursday, get the draw and the final field, etc. But I don't think he's bomb-proof, Lazat.
I'm not saying he's bomb-proof. I'm saying I think he'll win. I think Flora would have won last year. Yeah. Had she broke better.
Yeah,
but that is the conundrum you have with Flora Bermuda, because she's a very, very talented filly, isn't she? But not had she broke better, that was another run. But sorry, had she got a clear run?
Hasn't done a whole lot since, though, SD, to be fair. As the general manager, Simon, are you allowed to put up a possible way you might be leaning for a winner, or do you have to sit on the fence?
I probably do have to sit on the fence. I think if I was a gambling man, traveling over from France, Jerome Renier, I think you do well to take on Lazat, but it's like you've all touched on this. There's a lot of quality in there. You can pick holes in all the horses, and that's what makes it such an intriguing race.
It is. It's a good race.
I have got a bet, and it's going to be no half measures. I just think that I think the horse is better on softer ground. And it's going to get that not soft, but it's going to get softer conditions than she got on the July Cup in that meeting there. I thought she won that fair and square, at a whopping price on the day, obviously. She went in a couple of notebooks, having ran at Haydock previous to that, and possibly drawn on the wrong part of the track that day. And I think you could slightly upgrade that July Cup run. I think the July Cup was a better renewal than the Morris de Geese, for example. And yeah, no half measures that day at Newmarket. Had to do it quite a bit on her own over the far side. Others like Notable Speech and that were coming down the near side rail, as was favoured at that meeting. I thought she run that fair and square. She's coming straight here, whereas others, like A Time for Sandals, who might not run, Sayadar Darian from the same stable, Big Mojo and others, they've tried at different distances, maybe at Goodwood since then, or they've been elsewhere. I think this has been the plan for no half measures ever since that day, and I quite like it. And at 10-1, with the prospect of Time for Sandals coming out, I think no half measures is the bet at this stage.
I mean, you're talking rubbish about the draw, aren't you?
Which draw?
In the July Cup, 15 beat 9, beat 13, beat 11.
I know, but if you watch the race, I think she did make a move somewhat on her own and did quite a fair bit of work on her own that day. She's still reasonably inexperienced. Yeah, you might have missed the boat at 66-1. I had her down as needing soft ground. I think they watered plenty that week, but she's going to get softer this weekend, and I think she's a fair angle there at 10-1 each way. So I'm putting that one up.
Now,
off you go.
I'm going to give you the bet of the weekend.
Okay.
Put it on the graphics.
There you go.
There we are. Prague will win. Well, Prague, I could not believe this thing was 16. Honestly, I think they've completely and utterly lost their marbles. I think if it rains a lot, I know you're saying good ground, Simon, but there's an uncertainty on total, certainly. I'm working on the basis of good to soft. I hope it's soft for this thing because it was second in this last year, went off jolly. It had Regal Realities, Cicero's Gift behind Witch Hunter. I mean, these are 109, 110 rated horses. Probably should have won, just didn't get a run. Been running on too quick ground all year, hasn't been doing much. Can take a bit of a pull, but I'd put that down to the ground. I couldn't believe this was 16-1. I cannot have Opera Ballo. I just do not like the horse at all. I think it's a complete head case. I'm going to look like a right idiot on Saturday. A lot of these are also entered at Ascot and will probably have a better chance at Ascot because they'll not want to blow their marks. And I thought 16th was absolutely ludicrous.
I think ST might well be right on this one. I try not to agree with ST as much as I can, but yeah, Prague just needs that softer ground. He's going to get it this week. I mean, look how he finished last year. He went off 10-1, SD, for a 12-runner QE2 on Champions Day last year. Hasn't had soft ground at all in 3 starts this year. Jim Crowley's already booked for the ride. I do like the angle there, to be honest.
Have we sold Prague to you? It's good for a stag do, Simon.
Well, to be fair, as a former general manager at Bath, there's a former Bath winner in Ice Max, so that one jumps out of me a little bit. But no, you've made a very compelling case. I'll give you that, SD.
Oh, good. Just a slight note on Ice Max. Just a note. Karlberg's horses are not exactly firing in the winners of late. You know, he's 8% the last 2 weeks. They've been running all right, but they've not really been hitting the target. They had one at Sandown on Saturday. I tipped it up at 16. It goes off 7-2-5. Just didn't get up the hill.
Just also on this Superior Mile, I know SD mentioned Opera Ballo, and 2 months ago, I would have agreed with the comments that he's a head case, but I must say, at Newmarket in that listed race in July, he looked much more professional than he had on his previous starts. I still think he's got it in him to throw a race away at some stage, but he did look. I
don't think he'll run if it rains a lot. You know.
Well, maybe, but he's won. You know, his 4 wins from 5 starts this year, and the only defeat he's had this year came in the Guinness. That's why he's 5-4 favourite, clearly. But plenty entered in that one. There's a story brewing in the 150 SD. Again, it is weather related. This Ascendant Stakes for 2-year-olds. Publish, who was the short price favourite for last weekend's. What do they call the race at Sandown? Solario. Yes. Well.
I called it first that Publish wouldn't run, didn't I? I told you.
Yes, and yes, you did. So yeah, that would be interesting if he was running. There's 18 in here again, another healthy field there, full of 2-year-olds. Aidan O'Brien's got a couple entered in there as well, more than a couple actually. So that may be an exciting visitor there for you, Simon, on Saturday. If Mr. O'Brien sends one or two.
Very much so. Yeah, no, we've got. To be fair, there's some good entries from overseas. In a couple of the races. So yeah, fingers crossed. A couple make the trip.
Yeah, Charlie Appleby's in there with an unbeaten second favourite, Al Zanate, at the moment. That was reasonably impressive on debut, even though he only won by a neck. Did you have any comment on that one, SD?
Apart from I back published first time up at Sandown, which had the worst ride you've ever seen in your life, and thank God Buick's booked. But apart from that, no, I did say on Thursday, I think Publish is a very, very, very good horse.
Yeah, well, if the sun shines this week, he may well appear.
Look, I would just appeal to Mr. Gosden. If you're on good to soft ground, I don't think that. I mean, Sandown on Saturday was a bit different. It was soft, but if on good to soft, I would hope they'd run.
And final race to comment on, guys, is the Old Borough Cup. They're at 3:00 on Saturday. The warm-up race, or the race preceding the Sprint Cup, and race that SD absolutely loves. There's no bet from him today, but I'm sure that on Thursday night's show he will have a selection or two. What's the early thoughts on the Old Borough Cup, SD?
Honestly, I thought the way they'd priced the race was very defensive. So I'm not giving anything away. And it's great, actually. Do you know there's that 13-runner race at 14-runner race at Kempton, and there are still bookies betting a quarter of the first four because they can't read declarations.
And they sponsor that meeting as well at Kempton. So yeah, interesting behaviour there from those guys. Right, any final words then?
Oh yes. Friend of the channel sends his regards. He's
Simon, do you know who friend of the channel is?
Yes, yeah, very much. Of course I do.
Everyone does. We've created a monster.
He's at Sedgefield on Thursday, but he will be at Haydock on Saturday. So go and say hello to friend of the channel. I'm sure he'll growl at you. He's at cricket on Friday. He's had a headache for a few days, so was briefly bedbound, but he's on the way to recovery. But unfortunately, not at Wolverhampton tomorrow. You coming to Wolverhampton tomorrow, Simon?
Or 50-50 at the moment. It's a busy old week, so I might have to. To be honest.
Britain's friendliest racecourse. And Simon, it's 28 quid to get on in tax, isn't it, on Saturday? That's not bad at all for that sort of card.
Yeah, £28. If there's a group of 60 or more, it comes down to £25, which, for the quality of racing we've got on offer, I think, is value in my book. Still got county enclosure as well available. Hospitality's kind of sold out now at this point. But yeah, fingers crossed. Hopefully welcome a really healthy crowd as we have done most of our summer meetings so far.
Oh, it was very, very busy. Who was that who was on? Who I ran out the race course because
Becky Hill, was it our last one?
Becky Hill, yes, Becky Hill.
Yeah, crowd touching 17,000, which was fantastic for the race course. So yeah, it was a good evening that.
The second most famous hill, the most famous hill, of course, being Jimmy Hill.
Jimmy. I don't even know where to go with that, other than just say that SD's daily tips in August were plus 35.66 points. You're not going to get that anywhere else. It's free every morning on YouTube and Twitter at around 8:00.
And his microphone's gone. I mean, he thinks he's Terry Wogan,
there you
and
go.
he's more like Terry Waite. So...
There's nothing else to say, really, is there?
No, there's nothing else to say. Get yourself to Haydock this weekend. Yeah. Everybody here will be there. Are you going?
I am TBC. I might be working Saturday. I know you'll have something to say about that, but no, I might be working Saturday. Yeah.
Oh, that'll be hilarious. And of course, it's York on Sunday, so that'll be thrilling for me, won't it?
Yeah. Right. Thanks for coming on, Simon. Much appreciated. Best of luck this weekend, and we're looking forward. We're already looking forward to Haydock. So thank you very much.
We look forward to seeing you there. Take care.
Cheers. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.